Well, welcome. Good day. My name's Neil. Welcome to another video. This one's on flights, the big one that people always say to me in the 30 years I've been in travel, that flights is the way of stopping people getting the travel that they want. So what I want to do in this video is just give you into some free insights, some free hacks, if you like, of the way to shop around, get yourself the best deal and get more exploring, more adventures. Please bear in mind, this video is not sponsored. There's no affiliate links. I'm doing it purely to help you. So thank me for my hard work. If you feel like it warrants a thank you, even a subscribe, you know, that'll go a long way to help me with the algorithm on YouTube. More people, more views, and more people will benefit from it. That's all I ask, is if you like what I do, if I get enough feedback, if there's any questions or comments, put them in below, and I can make other videos about other things as they develop for you. So without any further ado, let me start sharing my screen and show you what's going on here. So open up your Google Chrome, okay? And on your Chrome, just type in the search bar, Google Flights, and this very first one that comes up, just click on this and then you will get this page. It might be white, mine's in dark mode, but you might be like this, exactly like this, but with a white background, or it might be with this black background if you're like me and you're in the dark mode. Okay, now what I'm going to do, just to make it easy, I'm just going to make it onto full screen. Couple of tips before we get going. Obviously you've got the filter of choosing your round trip or your one way. What I will suggest here is leave this on 1 for now, okay? Because if you leave it on 1, you'll get the best deal for that 1. If you select more than 1, you might not get the best deal for all 3 or 4 that you selected. So leave it on 1 for now. You can always add more later should you choose to. And obviously, if you only ever fly business or first class or premium, you can select those. But I'll come back to the filters later. So what most people do when they're looking for a flight is obviously look at Manchester. Let's say that you want to go to, and I'm going to use Tenerife for this example. When you put in a date, what you do get with the setting you've got on the bottom of the calendar, you get, this is a 7-day, obviously, round trip, okay? If you change this, the prices, as you'll see, will change. And my first tip to you is just make this more than 7 days, okay? The reason being is you'll get more deals. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's actually in green. If we remember the 15th of April and we go back to the 7 days, you can actually see it's at 75, right? But just by simply changing that to more than 7 days, can you see how that departure day has already gone down if that's the date you're choosing? I always recommend you turn this to 2 weeks, okay? Again, there's no hard and fast rule with it, but definitely make it more than your 7 days, okay? So this is just to Tenerife, and what most people do, for example, is they click their 2-week search, they click the search, and now what you're going to see on the search bar here, when you click search, when you see this blue at the top, it's searching the flights, and what it's doing for you is it's searching all the flights, obviously, from that airport to that destination on those dates. Now, I'm not teaching you how to use this. I want to show you how it's dead easy to use and make this work better for you. Because like other places, what you can do is you can always roll down and decide on the flight that you want. Now, what you will see, for example, is if you go onto here, although this one with Ryanair is only £58, what you can actually see when you hover your mouse on this logo is it doesn't actually include any check-in. And hand luggage. There's no overhead luggage. So there's not even got overhead luggage, never mind check-in included on that one. I am going to come back to a great help with that later. But what you're getting with the Google search is a good overview. I will go to other search engines shortly, but so you can see that actually, for example, this one is actually better value than this one because this one does include overhead, whereas this is more money and it doesn't. So it's a great first way of doing your first and initial search, right? But what I want to do is show you something else. So I've just gone back. Imagine you take the date out. So you just know where you're going from and where you're going to, and then you click search. Again, you can change your dates for more than your 7 days at the bottom. Okay, and now what you're getting is a better search. You can actually open up that going out to 6 months in advance. Okay, so you can do it without the date and then select the date, which is a way I recommend that you do it. But here's the way I'm going to suggest. Rather than be tied to Manchester, put in a comma and let's say London, London Heathrow, London Gatwick, so it's as well as London Stansted. Let's also put in Liverpool. So we're doing Liverpool, and we just simply click the plus logo. So now what we're doing is we're searching from UK to Tenerife. Now when we search, what we're going to get is a full detail of all the UK airports. And again, you push out, use your dates, select your dates, click you're done, search your flights, and now what you're going to get is a better overview. For example, this one is from Manchester, this one is from Liverpool. Okay, so you can actually see and compare for the UK. For example, this London Gatwick one is actually not bad value, including hand luggage, right? So my point is because rather than just searching from London Gatwick, you're actually getting all the flights from anywhere that you want to travel. One thing I will just point out is as you roll down the list, if you see these red warnings, let's put it as a red warning, you can actually see that this is a £179 round trip flight. There is no hand luggage, and there's a 7-hour layover, and that layover is in Malaga and Costa del Sol. So it's London Gatwick to Malaga for 7 hours, and then going over. So if getting there in the direct way is your thing, you don't want to have that layover, then you don't choose that flight. Obviously, my point is it's very open, it's very honest, and there's loads and loads to choose from, and you can just spend your own time finding which is the best deal for you. Now, what I want to do now is go back and even take out this is a really, really good way of finding great deals. Just put in where you're going from. Again, put in different locations or different airports that you're willing to use without any destination, right? So I'm putting in London, I'm going to put in here Gatwick, London Gatwick. I'm going to put in here Liverpool as well. So you get the idea, okay? But now what you've done is you leave the where and the when and just click explore. This is where Google Flights really comes in to its own. Now, while we've got the blue bar going across the top, which you just saw, it's still searching, okay? Now, what that has got is you can see here where it's red highlighted. These are the airports that you're flying from, okay? Now, what you can actually see, wow, I'd never thought of Istanbul, but I've got a £52 round trip airfare. And before I start clicking on any of them, look, not only is this in Europe, you can move this to wherever you want. This is global. And look how quick and easy. Again, the blue bar flashing across the top tells you it's just searching now in the area that you want it to. So you can actually, oh, look at that. There's Las Vegas there for 500. There's Cancun there. You get my idea, right? You might say, oh, I wonder what I can get over in Australia. Now, so this gives you on the map a great overview and quick and instantly. But here's the other thing. These filters and this where to. So let's say, for example, you said Australia, right? So you just say Australia. what you're going to get is the map will zoom in to everywhere just in Australia. So now you can zoom into the different parts of Australia. So now you've got New Zealand and you've got Australia, you've got your Bora Bora or just off the coast, etc., etc. But now what you can see, if you look, is you can actually decide, because you might be saying, for example, oh, I'm going to Coffs Harbour, and you're searching Coffs Harbour, and that's a 1,300 quid flight, where you can actually see going to Sydney or Brisbane is just 740 quid to Brisbane. And what you might do instead is go to Brisbane, spend a day or two there, and travel down to Coffs Harbour under your own steam. You see, I'm sure you get the point I'm coming to, right? Now, if you didn't want to choose a country, you can do it by continent as well. Spell it right, Neil. So you're doing Oceania, the continent. So the map will jump for you to that continent. And I'm sure you're following along well with this now, right? So you can now see, like for example, there's your Bora Bora, okay? And this is, again, don't forget, it's from all UK airports. That's why putting in all the UK airports and putting in your destination. For example, another example, you might say, well, I want to go to Thailand. So you put the country of Thailand as opposed to Bangkok, Thailand. And now what you've got is from the UK airports you want to use to the country of Thailand. For example, Bangkok is 400, Phuket is 500, you can see, and the map's loading. And as you zoom in more, you get more choices. Because you might say, oh, I never thought of Ho Chi Minh City. But a £442 round trip, remember, because it's on the round trip flight to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. Now it might come on your radar, right? Now, when you do go into other filters here, just so you know, it'll do it for 6 months out. You can select it's just for a weekend, obviously not for Thailand, you do that for Europe, your week or your 2 weeks. So you can select, you can see that's changed to 2-week trip in the next 6 months. You might say, I want to go in that month. So now it's doing 2-week trips in August. You might do 1-week trips. You might do the weekend in next month, etc., etc., right? So let's move that back to all. So it's when you do all for the 2 weeks, you've got a 2-week trip in the next 6 months, and then the map just updates. This is, again, still searching in Thailand because of where it was done there. Now, here's another one, right? Imagine you are now at home and you're thinking, I don't know where I want to go or when. And a lot of people are like this, right? They don't know where and they don't know when. If you go to all these filters, okay? So now let me just move my camera out of the way. What you can now do with all the filters, you might say one of the priorities, because I'm traveling with the kids, is I want a non-stop flight. So I don't want any changeovers. You obviously, and here's the other big one, your budget, because this is showing them all. Let's imagine that your maximum budget per flight is £500. Then simply, because I've zoomed out, it doesn't matter where I've put here now, but where I've zoomed out, I mean, look, Dubai, oh, that might, Beijing, Los Angeles. What my point is now, from those same departure airports, as opposed to putting in a destination, if you apply the filter of what your budget is, even if your budget is your £200, it'll tell you where you can fly for your £200. So you set the budget for your flight on where you would like, set the budget, not where you want to go. And this then gives you some ideas that you can zoom in. For example, you might want to go to Iceland. You never thought of Iceland. It's one of those up and coming places. It's only 100 quid round trip flight. Okay. So this is why using these filters really does work. So what you've got to remember is that, Google Flights is a tool. It's a tool you can use. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to give you an example of a search and compare it to other flight engines, just to see how that stacks up for you, to help you. By the way, again, if you're finding this content useful, give me a thumbs up, even a subscribe. You can always unsubscribe, and it always still helps out the channel, whatever suits you, because we're in a new channel. We're trying to get things going for us, as I'm sure you can appreciate. If you find value in it, spread the word and let other people get value. Incidentally, what you will see in the pinned description down below, you'll see there's a link to a 7-minute video. That's into our marketing funnel. If you like what you feel about us as a company, we have many different travel hacks and ways you can save on all sorts of different travel. And one of the ways for paying for all parts of cruises and hotels and villas and resorts, so not just the flights, the way of getting around paying the normal retail price for those, in the pinned description you'll see that link for a 7-minute video. If you like it, just give us your name and email, subscribe to the video, and if you like what you see, if you like what you're seeing, if you like what you hear on that video, you can subscribe yourself to me, either me or one of my gurus, whereby we can show you how that actual travel product works. But that's entirely up to you. It's there in the pinned description if you want to use it. So on with the video. So we're back here now. So another addition I'm going to show you initially on this Chrome account before I move into another one here, is if you go into your new page, click these 9 dots, go down to the bottom where you see the Chrome Web Store. I'm doing it a couple of times. Chrome Web Store. And here, search in here, leg rooms, and select it. And the other one in your extensions is Travel Arrow. So search, that's one word I think actually. There you go, Travel Arrow. Okay, so if you in your Chrome just simply click Add Chrome, in Travel Arrow Add Chrome, the reason I've had to show you here is on this browser you can see I've already got them installed, right? So when you've got your extensions installed, so if I did that a bit quick for you, forgive me, here it's showing you need to add to Chrome. This is one Chrome browser I've got, this is another browser, just the simple saying Google Flights opened. But what you can now see is that Travel Arrow and also Leg Rooms is installed, right? Because you can see how it's lit up. Okay, now to activate those, this little jigsaw puzzle here, all you need to do, if you click on the jigsaw puzzle, you need to, if you unpin it, can you see how it disappears, and then pin it, and then here unpin it, it disappears and pin. So you just pin it to your browser so you can see your Travel Arrow and your Leg Rooms. Now you'll see why I'm suggesting this to you. This is what I do with all my clients. So once you've installed your Travel Arrow and your Leg Rooms, okay, you simply do the search the same as what you were doing. I'll leave Liverpool on there. I'll also put my Manchester. I'll also put my London. One second, where in London did I do that? Let me just, London Heathrow, London Gatwick, Luton. You get the idea. I was showing you that before. Okay, and this time you're going to go, this is from one of your extensions. Okay, so it's here, and let's say you're going to Tenerife, and you choose the dates that you want. Again, move it to more than your 7 days out, unless you're going for 7 days, obviously. And you can see here Google quickly has found those, so let's say I'm going for those 2 weeks, just there, and I'm done. Now the first extension with these checked, look, watch the top, watch this at the top, just by clicking compare. So I put it once into my Google, added the extension to my Google, click compare. Okay, when you finish with that, simply close it. Now I search here, what you've now got is you've got, as I've just been showing you earlier, the full Google search, okay, of all the different flights. But look, it's automatically done a search for you on Kayak, Skyscanner, and other. It's still updating it now, but with one click, all of these were also updated. Look, some of them might open up in dollars. Apologies about that. There you go. That's in dollars. You just simply change that when it does into your pounds. That gives you a fairer comparison, right? That's also opened up in dollars. So let's just change that to your pounds. But what you're getting with one click is you're not trying to input the dates and the destinations again. You've only input it once. Just change the currency. For some reason, Expedia love them to bits. They don't let you do it when you want to change it. Look, it won't let me change it from dollars. But anyway, that's the way that works. My point. Anyway, keep on track, Neil. You've now got a direct comparison across different search engines as well as Google. Now, here's a great tip for you. There's a myth, and it is a myth, that if you search incognito, because it's remembering your cookies, and incognito, it can't remember your cookies. So there's a myth that if you search incognito, that the price won't go up. It's a myth. People say it, and it's a complete myth. The airline doesn't start suddenly making it more expensive for you. One myth that might work, not so much for your European flights, but one thing that might work for you, certainly if you're doing international travel, is get a VPN and use a VPN. So basically it's hiding your IP address. And then let's say you're going to New York, and do it as if you're in England. So without the VPN on, search from your airport in England to New York, then put your VPN on and search, let's say that you're in America from England to America round trip, and you might see a few dollars price difference just by using a VPN. So there is ways of using a VPN that can save you money. The incognito is a myth, and it just doesn't work, and it's a waste of time. Plus, using incognito is harder, right? It is. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is this other extension, how this can really help. Okay, so let's say again, we don't know where we're going from. We're going to select all these in the UK again. We're just going to stay with these. London, Heathrow, Gatwick, Luton. Add those. We don't know where. We're going to explore, and we're going to shop around. We're completely open. We're not sure when. We know we want to do a couple of weeks trip in the next 6 months. That's what we want to apply. So again, while that blue bar's across the top, searching for it, it's getting me the information. But don't forget, you can zoom out your map so you get like a global view. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that you're thinking of maybe the States, just as an example, okay, just to be different. So you've got this searching in the States. Now, let's say you apply a filter, as I showed you before. You apply your maximum budget. So I don't want to pay any more than £600 a flight. Close me filters. Okay, now it's updating those flights. For example, look, don't forget, look, New York, 280 quid, right? It hasn't got dates and things like that yet, but we'll get to it. But it's a 2-week trip anytime in the next 6 months. Might be Chicago. So let's choose that one, right? Let's choose that Chicago, right? So you clicked on this, and now what you're going to get is if you click on view flights, or at any time you're searching flights, what this legroom does, you can see it's gone green now that it's activated. I've already done this one, so I'm going to close it. Don't forget, I could compare them. It'll open those pages for me automatically, so I can compare those later. But this one, look what the legroom does. It tells you this flight from Manchester to O'Hare, Chicago O'Hare, you've got one stop, but look, how big is the legroom? It's in green, it's not in red. But as well as your leg room, you've got the aircraft type. You've got tells you if you've got a recharging point, whether you've got a media system. So if you actually think about it, right, this one here for £385 is a round trip, 76 centimeters outbound, 79 centimeters inbound seat of your size. For example, can you see here? These are red because they're smaller. So if you're comparing that one, look, that's not even got any hand luggage. Plus there's a 15-hour layover. There is free Wi-Fi, but this one here goes from London Gatwick to Chicago O'Hare and stops for an overnight layover. Normally it should tell me where, but it's not coming up. Anyway, so it gives you an overnight layover for 358 quid and no hand luggage, whereas that one, 385, it's got one stop for 2 hours. And again, it's a really, really quick and easy way to compare everything. Another quick hack for you when it comes to your flights, you should always, even if it's a few pounds more, you should always book direct with the airline. And the reason I'm going to suggest that is if you use any third-party vendor to book an airline and there's a delay or there's a problem or you lose a connection or anything, it's very difficult to get any compensate. It's very difficult to get anywhere with the airline because you book through a third party. I would always book directly with the airline, always. Hopefully that's been an insight into how you can get better choice, more freedom, better prices, get the better deals for travel. I have to say, as someone that's been working and traveling globally since leaving the military, so that's 30 years now, getting the right price and the right flight and the right leg room and the right stopover. An example, when I lived out in Asia, Southeast Asia, I used to love getting a stopover in Dubai and actually make it a really long stopover. So I go from Asia to Dubai, a couple of 3 days in Dubai, and then back to the UK, or maybe 24 hours in Dubai. Just makes it so much better, you know. But that's that. But anyway, if it's been of value, if there's any other questions you've got, please comment, send me any questions. I'm here to help. Also, as a reminder, in that pinned description, that video, that's a great insight how to get your cruising and your hotels and your villas and your accommodations hugely different to retail price. And I can't show that on public open source platforms. We're just not allowed to. So register your name and your email, go on to that video, watch that 7-minute video. And then if you do like what you hear there, that's great. Just click and make a schedule an appointment with either me or one of my gurus. And if you don't like what you see, we appreciate you looking. But if there's anything else you'd like me to cover or any other hacks, let me know again in the comments. Ask me any questions you like. But I want to say thank you very much. And that's bye for now. And what I will say is, as always, be safe, be good, and enjoy, and have many, many happy travels. Thanks for your time. Be safe. Bye-bye.